Welcome back, everybody, and Happy New Year's. Hope everybody had a good time and was safe and enjoyed some family and friends. Today we are going to be utilizing the whey that we had drained from our Greek yogurt. So what we're going to make is frozen yogurt, and I'm going to list the supplies and ingredients that you need right here. The first thing you want to do is be prepared and make sure you have all the ingredients available before starting any recipe. Just do your research or watch this full video, and then you can get situated and come back another day. So two things. I'm using an ice cream maker, which can make yogurt as well. And the other thing is these that make it, these are the bowls that you put it in. These have to be refrigerated for at least 24 hours before you can start using them in the machine. So you're going to need to have that ready. I always keep mine in the freezer. I have 2 of them so that I'm always ready to go. So just remember to get this ready a day before, full 24 hours before you get started on this recipe. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a half a cup of whey, which I already have measured out here, from the homemade yogurt I made. And we're going to take a teaspoon of gelatin, which I have to find, so I'll be right back. Look what I found, gelatin. Okay, so we're going to put a half a teaspoon. Yeah, that's good enough. And we're just going to sprinkle it over the top of this, like that. And we're going to let that sit for 5 minutes. I'm going to set a timer, and then we'll be right back. Our mixture has sat for 5 minutes, and now we're just going to kind of stir it up just real briefly like that. And we're going to microwave it for about 30 seconds. I microwave it for 30 seconds just to get it dissolved really well. It smells amazing. It smells so sweet. I burnt my nose today at El Pollo Loco on hot sauce. It hurt for a long time. I thought about putting milk up it, but I don't think that's going to work. Okay, moving on. We're going to let that cool for 5 minutes, so I'm going to set another timer, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we're stirring. Look, stir, stir, stir. If you do that, you give your abs a nice workout while you're stirring it around to eat your non-fat yogurt. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add 3/4 cup sugar. In goes the sugar. I have an organic sugar, and it's a little bit more coarse than a regular sugar, so hopefully it dissolves properly and we are good to go. Now, the next thing I'm going to use is a syrup. You have 2 options. This one's the most easiest because most of you probably have it. It's just a light corn syrup. We're going to need 3 tablespoons of that. I'm using this one, which I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. It's a Lyle's Golden Syrup, and you can find that in the description below. I purchased it on Amazon. It's supposed to have a better scientific-y thing on how the water binds to the yogurt and stuff. So we're going to try this out. So we need 3 tablespoons. Ooh, it looks like honey. Look at that. Let me smell it. It smells like a maple syrup almost. Probably is. Okay, there's 1. It's supposed to be really good for pecan pie too, but I don't eat stuff like that because there's way too many calories for me. Okay, so there's 3. Look at that. Pure straight up sugar. Might be good to have a little bit of right after your workout with some protein. Let's taste it. That's pretty darn good. Stir that in, around in circles, the other way. If you've ever played the Wii, there's a cool hula hoop game. It's really fun, and it's such an ab burner. I love it. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to do an 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Stir. And now I'm going to add 4 cups of our homemade yogurt. All right, now we're going to whisk all this good stuff together. Very gently here. Till it's well incorporated. Now that we have this covered, it's ready to go in the refrigerator. You want to keep it in the refrigerator until it reaches 39 degrees or lower. I am going to do a tester the next time and let you know how it came out. I was thinking about adding a little bit of lemon juice from some fresh lemons off my tree for flavoring, but I'm not sure if it's going to affect the flavor or the texture of the yogurt for the finished product, so I'm not going to do that yet, but I will try it another time. The reason being is because when I made my yogurt, I only ended up with about 6 cups, and this takes 4 cups, and I didn't want to use all my yogurt because I hadn't bought milk yet to make another batch. So anyways, a long story you don't want to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this in the refrigerator, and when I come back, I'll let you know how long it had to sit.
Action.
I went ahead and took my bowl out of the freezer. I usually store it in a very large bag there. I'm going to put it on my ice cream maker. The temperature is 39 degrees. 40 is fine if that's where yours reaches. For my yogurt, so I'm going to go ahead and stick my yogurt in my ice cream maker. It actually tastes amazing, just like this, before it's even frozen, so that's a good sign. Get all of that goodness in there. Don't want to waste any yogurt. I love it. Set the bowl aside. Put our mixer in there. And put the lid on. Most of the time this takes anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes. So we're going to get it going, and I'm going to check it about 20-25. It should have the consistency of a frozen yogurt, so it's probably going to still be a little bit soft, but we'll show you when we get there. Okay, so I want to mention that my my yogurt mix sat for 6 hours in the refrigerator before it was cold enough. You could put it in the freezer, I think, but you want to, continually stir that up or put it in an ice bath or something if you want to speed up the process. I wasn't in the hurry because I had to go to weightlifting and all that, so I was good to go. So we're done. I let this go for 25 minutes, which was perfect. And I have these. They're called Tavolos. That's the name of it, in case you want to see that. I have little containers here with lids. And then I also have a bigger one that I use for ice cream. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill each of these up. These are, you can freeze these, so that's the purpose of them. It works really well. I'm going to fill each of them up with some of the yogurt. If you can look at this, look at how creamy and amazing that turned out. I mean, and it tastes so good. It's beautiful. It's not icy, it's smooth. So what you want to do is you want to put this in your containers and stick it in the freezer. I'm going to stick mine in the freezer overnight because I'm not planning on eating it tonight, but I will have it for breakfast because it's yogurt, so why not, right? I'm going to take a little bite because I'm just anxious here. Let's see. It's so good. Another thing I want to try to do, I have some very fresh lemons here that taste so good and smell so good. So I'm going to try to put some in a little container and see, because you have to be very careful with recipes like this because you want it to maintain its creaminess. So too much water could make it really icy. I don't want that to happen because I like the creaminess of it without adding the extra fat. And then we kind of stiffened it up a little bit by using the gelatin. So that worked out good. If you weren't able to make the homemade yogurt, you can also buy a quart of yogurt, a Greek, actually not Greek. You want to get a regular yogurt because you want the whey from the yogurt. So just get a regular whole milk yogurt, strain it like I did my homemade yogurt. If you watch that video, you'll see how I did the straining process. And then you'll have the whey to use the gelatin with. So if you weren't able to make it, you still have another option. Just get a quart of yogurt at the grocery store and you're good to go. Make sure there's no added sugars or anything else in it. It's just yogurt and that's it. So anyways, I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for future videos. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the yogurt. It's absolutely delicious. It's nice and creamy. It turned out wonderful, and I hope yours does too.